Why do I include these two 17mm sockets in my lug bolt care kit? Let me explain. These are both very high quality USA made sockets, and this one here is an impact socket. And this is what you want to use when the lug bolts are on too tight. You do not want to use this one. This one is designed for installing lug bolts or removing lug bolts that have been previously torqued. Oh, I'm going to emphasize that, previously torqued. The reason I like this socket is thin-walled, it goes tightly on the lug bolt head, and it clears the alloy wheels so you're not going to scratch it. Plus, it's super long, so it brings this socket out far enough that you can attach your torque wrench, which does not have a swivel head, and you can torque it without rubbing up against the tire. So this is the socket I like to use when I'm doing the final torquing. Now, if you know your lug bolts are torqued properly, you can remove them with a socket, but this is not designed for impact. You will actually break this socket if you try to apply force greater than 100 foot-pounds. If you have any suspicion that your bolts are on too tight, use the impact socket that I include in the kit and get a super long breaker bar and go ahead and get on here and loosen them up, okay? Loosen them up like this. All right, once they're loose, then you can get this socket on, and you either use just a regular ratchet wrench, or in this case, I could even use the torque wrench because I'm not overstressing the torque wrench, but I'll just go ahead and loosen them up, and once they're loose, you can use this socket to remove and replace the lug bolts by hand. Don't use an impact unless you absolutely have to, and then you can use this socket to go ahead and properly torque. See that? You have lots of clearance because of the extreme depth of this socket. You're not rubbing up against the alloy wheels, so you won't scratch the paint. And I can properly torque these lug bolts at this time. I'm not going to give you the specification for torque. You need to do your own research on that so you get the right one for your car, but the information is readily available on the internet. So now you know why I include two sockets in my care kit.